CBS Evening News with Bob Schieffer.
With 40,000 National Guard troops already called up for duty, the situation in New Orleans is so bad that our CBS News correspondent David Martin reports the Army is now making preparations to send in as many as 10,000 combat troops from the active duty force. There is one scrap of good news from New Orleans tonight. More than 100 buses evacuated thousands of people from the hellhole that was once the Louisiana Superdome, and more will be brought out tonight and taken to the Astrodome in Houston. But they leave behind a city in anarchy, with most of New Orleans still flooded. Angry mobs set fires, continued wholesale looting, and shot at rescue helicopters as frustration boiled over in ways large and small. It was also another day of dramatic rescue. In Washington, officials urged patience, but authorities in New Orleans said the whole situation has become a national disgrace. CBS News correspondents, producers, and camera crews are deployed across the disaster zone. We begin again tonight with John Roberts in New Orleans. John?
Good evening, Bob. New Orleans tonight is a city that's sinking deeper into chaos. Temperatures here soared above 90 degrees again today. Add to that a lack of basics, thousands of people waiting for help, and frustrations and desperation were boiling over. Many just couldn't cope with it all. For the lucky, though, there was hope. Finally, a way to get out of town.
Like a lifeline for Katrina's homeless, dozens of buses rolled into New Orleans today to begin the mass evacuation from this devastated city.
But I feel good because I thought I never was going to get out here. But I thank God that we're living, and we thank y'all for y'all help.
They were the first smiles, the first expressions of joy we've seen as people boarded for the trip to Houston. But there was also sadness and separation. No dogs on the bus. And this pet of 9 years found itself suddenly orphaned. Authorities finally began getting water to people stranded on the interstate today, but it wasn't a coordinated operation, just a few bottles here and there. Many survivors, including this man and his 97-year-old mother, were left with nothing for a second day.
It's too hard. Don't treat it like dogs. Don't treat it like dogs.
Today, the city's mayor issued an urgent SOS for storm victims trapped at the convention center. Supplies there are running out.
We go beds out here. They don't have no formula, no water, and they want us to survive out here. Where's people? Where's the mayor?
And over at the Superdome today, the evacuation had to be suspended after several people demanded rides out of town at gunpoint. There's still a surprising lack of force on the ground. National Guard troops only number in the handful. More are on the way, but by the time they get here, the mayor fears the city will be gripped by anarchy. The system is so stretched, authorities can't even pick up the dead.
The body count's so high that they tying them to the stop signs and picking them up later.
Do you really know where you're going?
No. We trying to go up here, try to see if they get us out of town, try to see if they bring us somewhere, man. We don't know where we're going.
Albert Williams, fed up with the looting in his neighborhood and no information on where to go, set out for safer ground today.
I feel just devastated that a city like this could just turn their backs on us.
But the last safe haven Williams had heard about was the convention center, which meant his life was about to go from bad to worse. The threat to public health and safety here is intense, even so for the able-bodied. And then there are the sick and injured, and the hospitals trying to care for them. Doctors, nurses, and patients all stretched to the limit.
In the heart of New Orleans Medical District, some of the most decorated hospitals in the country have become